What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, because today I have a real special one for you. I may have just bought the crappiest, most junkiest Gheenoe 15.4 high sider on the freaking internet. And it is strapped to the roof rack of my truck, and we're gonna drive 70 the whole way home on the interstate, and we're gonna see if this thing stays. So, without further ado, let's get into it. All right, guys, I am home, and since that last clip, I have gotten a haircut. I'm sunburnt, and this thing has been sitting on my truck for a month. And you know, you might be thinking, oh, that's not your home if you've seen my past videos. Where's your garage? Well, my garage was at my dad's house. My dad is unfortunately moving, so I don't have the garage anymore. So now everything has to come to my house. And so I've spent the last few weeks moving everything from that garage to this tiny little one-car garage. And now I can't keep my projects there anymore. So this is coming to my house. And now I get to work on it outside in the hot Florida sun with no shade. So this is my backyard. Here's my John boat, Ryan's John boat. And just to give you guys a little bit of a perspective of how rough this thing is, there's wood in the transom. The transom moves. There's a hole right there. There's a hole up there. Bilge hole, which isn't that bad. That literally looks like a tortilla chip. And this thing, it's rough, super rough. So that's why it's my new YouTube project. But I'm gonna attempt to get this thing off of my truck by myself, because I'm impatient. So let's see what we can do. All right, 1, don't try this at home. 2, always have 2 people when you do this, and don't do it by yourself. And 3, if it falls, it's for your entertainment. Oh, I did it. It's out. That was honestly a lot harder than what I thought it would be, but it's out. Now, I have to drag this thing over here, build some sort of stand for it so I can work on it and do some fiberglass work and get this thing to its former glory. So I went ahead and got my old workbench, and I screwed some 2x4s in on the sides to be able to put the Gheenoe on it. So it's elevated off the ground so I can actually work on it without having to bend over or be in the dirt or anything. But it honestly looks pretty good right there. I just assumed that 2 2x4s would work good, and it looks like it is working good. And so does the other side. It's actually really even. It's pretty perfect. Not bad for just a guesstimate. But anyways, now I can walk you guys through this Gheenoe and show you exactly everything that's wrong with it, because there is a lot. There's a lot of holes, a lot of BS that's wrong with it. But first, I'm going to tell you why I bought this boat, which is because I sold my Gheenoe, and I was honestly pretty upset about that. And I was destined to get a 13 low-sider next, but this one popped up on Marketplace for $100, I think I paid. I don't remember. I was like, man, that would be the perfect restoration project, just to get it back to stock, build it better than how it was factory, and show all of you guys that just a random Joe like me can do this kind of stuff, because I've only done it once before. And I'm gonna do all of that in my backyard in the 100-degree Florida heat. So anyways, what I mean by building this better than stock is this thing obviously is rough. if you know Gheenoes, you know, at least these 15.4s, these sidewalls are very, very thin, obviously. Didn't help that it was sitting on the top of my truck for a month, and these started to slowly rip more and more and more every time I drove on the highway. Like when I went and got my 175 in Ocala, and I had to drive it to work a couple times and an hour away, and it was just, I've got a lot of highway use on the top of my truck. But the walls are super thin, and essentially how I'm going to build it back better than stock is I'm going to put 2 layers of fiberglass on the walls. Meaning I'm going to put a layer on the inside. Yes, hypothetically that would be enough to fix all of this, but I'm going to do 2 on all of the walls. Now back here it is a little more sturdy and stout, so I might not have yeah, I'm going to do that. Might as well. But not only am I going to do that to the walls of this boat, I'm going to do it to the floors, because he was getting ready to do that anyway, and the guy that had it before me sanded everything so thin that honestly this thing is not seaworthy right now because of it. It's honestly sketchy how easy I can push and bend the fiberglass with just my hand. Now like up here, that's a pretty solid patch, but right there as well, that's pretty good. So like that area and that area, I'm not gonna fiberglass, but like this middle area and this middle area as well, I'm gonna build it way sturdier than stock. I'm gonna bring it back to life. I'm gonna paint it inside and outside. I might have to do a transom like I said earlier, because this is a little wonky, as you can see me push it in. So I don't know if I'm gonna do Kusa or wood for that. Probably should keep it a non-wood boat. But you've seen the floor, you've seen the sides. Now it's time for you guys to see the bottom, which if you look in here, take this stupid foam out, I have a fresh hole right there. See my fingers? I have no idea how a hole like that would even commence, but this thing did sit in the backyard of that guy's house for a long time upside down, so maybe a branch hit it or something, but the floor in here is actually pretty solid, except for where the hole is, which is just so weird. But I'm gonna have to go ahead and patch that. Here's a look at the hole from the bottom side. Very nice. And there's some thin spots in it as well that I'm probably gonna have to address. You can see in the green paint how thin this was all sanded down. And that is exactly why I wanna put some extra fiberglass on it. Now the next hole is actually in here under the layer of fiberglass on the floor, down there. As you can also see, there's just a bunch of chips, dents, scratches, and there's the hole. That is a meaty hole. What's gonna suck about that one is I'm gonna have to access both sides of the hole, meaning either I'm gonna have to cut this out or fill it in with some sort of foam, but then I have no drainage on the drain hole. I don't know. I just need a backing so I can be able to fiberglass on top of it and build it up. This is it. This is the new project for YouTube. Like I said, I'm really just gonna put it back to stock, back to its original form, but built better. Because my first Gheenoe, if you guys haven't seen that, was a really big project for me because I've never done fiberglass. I never even had a Gheenoe before that. And I have all these videos on my YouTube of me fiberglassing a deck and fiberglassing holes, painting the inside and outside of it, doing the jack plate, doing the front hatch, doing everything to it. And I didn't know how to do any of that. I just learned off of watching from YouTube. So I'm definitely taking on a way bigger project than I need to be, but that's okay. I want to challenge myself. I want to show people that anybody can do this. And I quite frankly miss having my hand kai on a Gheenoe because it pushes that John boat great, but that thing is just a rocket ship on a Gheenoe. Essentially, let me go over the game plan for you guys. So the previous owner went ahead and sanded down the whole outside of the boat, intending to fiberglass the outside. I don't think I have the skills to make the fiberglass flat, neat, nice, and the patience to be able to make it look really good on the outside. Now, as much of a blank canvas as this is, and it's a perfect surface to just start glassing over, I don't think it's a good idea for me to do that because I don't think I can make it look as good as stock. And that's why I don't want to fiberglass on the outside. I'd rather fiberglass on the inside because I feel like you can make a little bit more mistakes and it won't be seen as much. And a big reason why I want to fiberglass on the inside is to really get into this corner, because these walls just shake super bad and I want to be able to strengthen it from, you know, the base up. I feel like if I did it from out here, it wouldn't be as strong. I feel like there'd be a lip right here. I feel like it just wouldn't look as clean, but I won't know until I actually do it. So essentially that would be step one, sanding and glassing the inside, the walls, the extra holes, and doing all of that. So that'll probably be one whole video, and then another video in itself will probably be the transom, which, like I said, I've never done a transom in one of these before. So you and I are gonna learn together, and I'm essentially just going to put a big block of probably Kusa in here and fiberglass it in, and, you know, teach myself, teach everybody else how to do that. And then after all of the glassing is done, then it will be time for primer and paint, which I'm not going to tell you what paint color I'm doing on the inside or the outside, but I have already come up with a plan. And then in the midst there will be, you know, patching this big hole or making it a hatch or something, I'm not sure, and trying to find a lid for this. I will also be taking that off because I won't need it. I also need to patch these holes up in the seat, because since the Gheenoe's been sitting on top of the truck for a month, it's been getting rained on because it is rainy season in Florida, and it was just, this thing was dripping water out of all of its holes, all over the bed, and all over everything in the bed of my truck for a month. It was horrible. And the last thing I'll be doing for this boat is doing some accessories, like getting a new rub rail to put on, getting a new bow cap, and maybe I'll do, you know, a video of going to the Genu facility, the Genu headquarters, to get that stuff. And then lastly, electronics, which I have a video of me doing electronics on 2 boats now with Milwaukee batteries. It's tried and true, it's proven to be reliable, and the only reason why I want to do electronics on this boat is because I do have the flush mounted snake eyes nav lights for this boat, which are right here in my truck. Yeah, they're a little beat up, but they do work, and we'll clean them up, make them look nice. So I might as well put some electronics on this thing. At the end of it all, I will beat on it. I will have my fun with it. I will definitely make some videos of that, and then see if we make some profit on this thing. Like I said, I think I paid $100 for this, and I'm gonna go through and list everything I buy for this boat, between fiberglass, resin, Kusa board, you know, all the electronics, the bilge pump, like everything that I do to this boat, I will price it out. I'll price out even every little trip to the store I go for a freaking drain plug, you know, and I'll put it all together and see how much I can sell a non-titled, completely restored Gheenoe for. Now, I could potentially get a homemade title for this if I prove to them that I am homemaking this boat with all of the receipts of materials that I use, and we'll see if we can do that as well, because if I could do that, we'd be golden. But anyways, this is just a walkthrough video of my new project. I know it was kind of boring, but there is a lot to come for this boat. So if you want to see more of it, go ahead and subscribe. Maybe like the video if you're feeling nice. Thank you for watching. We'll see you guys on the next one.